Well, hello there. This is another video, and this video is about MCP, what is referred to as Model Context Protocol. So, what exactly is MCP? And in today's video, what we are gonna see is like understand the basic concepts about MCP, and at the same time, write a code which will work as MCP server, and then use Claude desktop version to interact with that MCP server and then perform some action. So you're not going to perform exactly some action. What we are going to do is simply fetch in weather information for a particular place using our MCP server. And the same will be fetched using Claude as a front end. So using Claude, we are going to write a prompt to fetch the data, the weather information, and then the MCP server will take in that as an input, make an API call, and then pass the resultant JSON that is being returned from the API. So if you have seen my previous video, in one of the previous video, I have already showcased you like how to use the weather API to get weather related information using Python. And today we are also going to use the same piece of code. I already have the code open in front of me. I'm just gonna copy paste that and get started. So what exactly is MCP? So MCP is a way through which your LLMs can interact with third-party data source or third-party APIs. So MCP is kind of a protocol, and it has two components: MCP server and MCP client. So in our case, the MCP client will be Claude desktop version, while MCP server will be a Python codebase. That's how simple it is. So you can have like multiple MCP servers running in a single machine or hosted on Docker container. And then you can have like multiple MCP clients, which can be your IDs like Cursor, your different toolkits, as well as your Claude for desktop. So what we are going to use for this is a Python SDK, which is the Python SDK for the MCP. And they have put up quite an extensive tutorial about how to use it. The only thing is that they have used something called as UV to manage the Python projects and your dependencies. It's very fast because it uses Rust. And in our case, since I have been an Anaconda user for some of my projects in the past, so I'm gonna use Anaconda for the same. I'm not going to use I'm not going to use UV. I'm going to use Anaconda. I'll show you how you can use Anaconda. I think that will give you a separate perspective as well. So let's get started first, and then we will see how to proceed with all the integrations and everything. So what I'll do is that I'm gonna open my terminal. I'm already in my projects folder. So I'm just gonna make a new directory called as MCP demo setup. Go to the same MCP demo setup and then make a new directory, mkdir MCP weather, cd MCP weather code dot. Okay, here we go. So what we will do initially is simply create two files. One will be your main.py and second will be weather.py, which will contain the main API call to weather API. That's how simple it will be. But before proceeding forward, I'm just gonna open my terminal. Here we go. So I already have created an Anaconda environment. I'm just going to simply activate it. Conda activate. I use this environment for all of my Python projects, and it's named as daily. Yes, I use it daily, so I just named it as daily. So the dependency is MCP, which you already have. We also need requests module, which we again have, and the same is much more faster when you are doing like when you're doing the same using UV. But with UV and Anaconda existing on the same system, I kept running into dependency conflicts, which kind of I spent almost an entire day trying to figure it out. And then eventually I just thought like I'll just use Anaconda for now, and then figure it out at a later point of time, like how to combine both into a single system. Anyway, so for weather.py, I will simply copy the code base. It's very simple. It's already written before, and there's already a video regarding this. What it does, it just has a base URL. You have the API key. You can get the API key from weatherapi.com. You pass a city name as a parameter. It can be an address as well, like city name, comma, state name, comma, country, or followed by a pin code. Then you get a response, which I'm passing it as a JSON and sending it back to the calling function. So I'm just gonna go to main.py and then start to write the actual MCP server. So since we already have MCP installed on the system, so I'm just gonna use, and I have Copilot in this ID, so definitely it's gonna give me a lot of suggestions for sure. Let me just select the interpreter first, daily. Here you go. Now after Copilot, life has been a lot more easy, but yeah. Server dot fast MCP import MCP. Okay, here we go. Then import weather, import traceback, and import this. So I'm just gonna create the main object, the MCP object. So fast MCP, just a description of the same, like just a name. So weather tools, nothing more, simple. So here this decorator called mcp.tools, sorry, not tools, tool. And here I'm just gonna define the name, which is get weather data. Then see, everything is already there thanks to Copilot. Just gonna press tab, remove this definition for now. It's pretty simple, like nothing is there. I just need to call the get weather, pass the city name as a parameter. The return type is dictionary, and the same will be showcased. Nothing more, very simple, straightforward. So if name is equals to main, then try print starting the MCP tool server, then mcp.run, accept exception as E, and the enter message, and that's it. You are done. I think I missed something over here in mcp.run. I just need to define the transport layer, which in this case will be standard input output. There are other options as well. So that's it, and here we go. Now the interesting part comes in, and where everything started not working for me for a lot of time. So what we have done till now is simply we have written a code base for your MCP server. Now this needs to be integrated with Claude. So all you need to do is first to download Claude desktop, open it up, and then you just want to make sure that your developer mode is opened. Enabled. So for that you just need to go to Claude, click on settings, and then there will be option for the developer mode. In general, there will be an option for the developer mode to be enabled, and then once enabled you will get all these options. You'll get this option. You also get the option for the OpenMCP log file, the app config, and all those things. And the same, like once my MCP server is running, the same will be popped up over here. There has been issues and challenges to get this thing working. However, what I have seen is like after I have edited the config file, which I'll showcase in some time, After that, I just need to restart the Claude once more, and then automatically everything started popping up. But then it took me a lot of time to figure this out because I was keeping running into issues regarding the conflict of dependencies of using UV and Anaconda. But here I have simply used Anaconda just to keep things as simple as possible. So what you need to do is firstly just click on developer and open the app config file. So here you need to define your MCP servers. So in this case, I defined the weather tools 101. The command will be your relative path of Python. In my case, it's under environment of Anaconda, so that's what I pasted. If you're using UV, it will be the relative path of UV and not of the system level Python. Under arguments, you need to pass the entire. Okay, sorry, it's not relative, it's absolute. My bad. So here you need to have the entire absolute path of Python or of UV, and under arguments you need to pass the entire absolute path for the file that you are going to execute, and then only it's going to work out. So what I will do is simply copy the path and paste it. Here you go. So once I save it, I am just gonna restart Claude. Please come in. Okay. Now upon selecting, you can see the weather tools 101 gets displayed. And here is a get weather data, which is a part of this decorator as in line number 9. So let me just write a query, like write a prompt. What is the weather of Siliguri, West Bengal, India? This is where I stay. So yeah, at this point I think it's gonna ask you for access. Yes, which I'll click on allow always. And here we get the passed answer. So when you're working with LLMs, obviously if you just pass a JSON as a reply, it will automatically pass that and provide you a proper value. But I don't think so it's showcasing of Siliguri. It's some other Siliguri, I believe so. So what I'll do, I'll just refresh this. I meant Siliguri in the state of West Bengal, because it's definitely not 20 degrees Celsius here. It's probably 30 something. Okay, so it's not using the MCP that we have developed. So what I will do is simply hold on. Now it's going to take some time. Okay, so I'm going to disable the web search. I'm going to reload the window. Where is it? View, reload this page. What is the weather of Siliguri, West Bengal? And now it should be using the MCP. Yep, it's using the MCP server, and hopefully it returns a proper. Yep, as I was saying, the temperature was definitely not 20 degrees Celsius, it's 27. So yeah, I mean, this is just a very simple example. Here you can do a bunch of things, and I'm planning to make a video on how you can have MCP to control like using Claude for desktop. We should be in a position to control an Arduino as well as read data from an Arduino. That is gonna be something interesting, which I'm trying to make a video by next week or so. So that's gonna be very interesting. This is just a basic example of what MCP server is meant to do and how it will work out. And the most important part is this. It looks very simple, but trust me, this is where I spent almost 7 to 8 hours trying to figure what will work and what won't work based on my system. I use a very simple approach, but Even in the official documentation, they have mentioned to use UV. We recommend using UV, which is definitely like pretty good, but it didn't work out for me. So since I was already using Anaconda, so that's how MCP it is. Like it is just a protocol layer where you have clients and servers, and then using MCP server you can have a bunch of APIs that you can get data from. You can have a bunch of data sources that you can get the data from. You can host your MCP servers on Docker containers, and then you can have different clients consume the same. So that way a lot of things are possible using LLM. So this has opened a whole set of new things. As a person who is into IoT, I would love to explore MCP more and see how I can integrate this with hardware devices, with real actual devices. Probably I'll make a video for that Arduino thing as well, and combine some various use cases on the same. But yeah, this is like pretty interesting, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll try to make these videos much more regular as much as possible. And if you like this video, please hit the like button and please subscribe to my channel. That's about it. Have a great day and see you again soon. Bye bye.